Hello. Today I want to make a video regarding self-discipline and the way that life works and how to get from point A to point B in life. Life is a sea of distractions. It is a sea of noise, a sea of things that are trying to pull you off of that, getting towards that B point. So you're at A and you're trying to get to B. Going from A to B is like going through a sea of distractions. So the only way to actually reach point B in life, whatever that is, better fitness, more money, more success, a better job, anything, no matter what it is, you're moving from point A to point B. In life, you start at a certain condition, whatever that is, whether that's being overweight, whether that's being broke, and you're moving from that point to point B. And the journey across that is likened to a sea of distractions. And truly, the only way that you can reach point B is in life to be like Moses. Now, Moses split the Red Sea. There was a sea and he split it and created a straight line from point A to point B to reach his promised land. So in life, you have your promised land, more money, better fitness, whatever it is, okay? So you're at point A, you're confronting head on a sea of distractions. Everybody knows these distractions, that we know them now. Everybody's used to them. And there's just more and more every single day, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, other people's opinions, people trying to pull you down, other, different sexy ideas or things that try and pull your attention away from your point B. You know your promised land. You've set that in stone. You know it. Ideally, at least you should. I think you should very early on in life. I don't, just as an aside here, I don't believe that it's good to take your time in life and it's okay if you're starting late and that it's okay if you don't know what you want and you're 30 years old. I think that you need to start early in life, and some people make mistakes, so the best time to start is now. That is true. But in general, if you're somebody who's young that's watching this, or I believe that the best thing to do is to start when you're young, to know what your North Star is, to know what your promised land is, to know what your point B is. You need to know, because otherwise, the faster you start, life moves exponentially. You get compounded growth over a lifetime. And the earlier you start, the more gains you get later in life. The later you start, the less gains you're going to end up with later in life. So I do believe that you need to find your point B if you haven't already. You need to find your promised land. And at point A, you're confronting a sea of distractions. What Moses did is he split the Red Sea. He split it into two and created a straight line from point A to point B. And when it comes down to like motivation and stuff like that, people, they create a line, they split the sea, but they don't hold it. So you have these walls of the ocean, the walls of the water. And over time, after a week or two, the walls cave back in and you're back into the sea of distractions. You went for a boat ride, you went somewhere else, okay? You didn't manage to hold the Red Sea split. So in life, the most successful people, they open the Red Sea and they use tremendous amounts of discipline and personal policy on themselves of how they're going to conduct their lives to hold those walls sturdy and still maintain a straight line across the channel from point A to point B. So that is the key to life of how you achieve what you want to achieve. You need to have the strength, the discipline, and the courage to hold the sea split. Because people at some points along the journey, halfway through, a third of the way through, a fifth of the way through, 100th of the way through, where they barely even start, they allow the water to collapse in because they give up on it or they don't have the discipline, and they're not relying on their own personal strength and ability and courage and discipline, primarily discipline, to actually hold the channel wide open, hold the Red Sea split to get to your promised land. And as you're going along the way, there's going to be mermaids, there's going to be this, there's going to be all kinds of stuff that they're going to try and pull your attention to weaken yourself so that those walls collapse again. So in order to get from point A to point B in life, to get to the promised land, you need to be able to split, metaphorically, the Red Sea and be able to direct a line directly from that point A that you're at now, the current condition, the present time condition, all the way to point B. And when you apply certain discipline policies to your life, where you maintain that channel with a lot of strength and discipline to hold it without letting it fall back in and collapse on you, where you swim and drown in the sea of distractions that we're subjected to in everyday life on this planet in the current day, 2023, where it's very, very hard to maintain a focused life path, because it seems like everything that we consume via social media, everything is all part of that water in that sea of distraction. That's all it is. So you have this sea of distraction trying to get you to swim and drink from the distraction and the noise. And then you have you, and whether or not you get to point A to point B, to your promised land, is purely, purely, purely up to you. If you can split the Red Sea, hold that line steady, and move yourself from point A to point B with complete and utter abandonment for the sea of distraction, completely ignoring it and completely holding yourself firm on your path and moving from point A to point B. That's all that it takes in today's world to be successful. And that's hard, but life is supposed to be hard. Life is hard. And that's what it takes to get from point A to point B. All right? Thank you.